traveling the world and learning, performing, and playing music. That's just something I've always loved to do. Music has always been there for me. I remember even like back when I was young, I would take all my mom's pot and some pans and go out into the garage and with the wooden spoon and bang on them as they were like a drum kit, you feel me? Singing in the shower, of course, that's what everybody does. Freestyling with friends, that's something me and my friends have always been doing. It's just music has always been around, music has always been there. And in terms of just how I live and like what I do every day. Aside from just music, of course there's always like something you want to do on the side. I plan to open up my own shoe store. Like, of course, everyone's like, oh, okay, well, shoes like Jordans, of course. I mean, not just Jordans, but like sneakers, like that sneakerheads collect, like collector's items. I see shoes as a whole, like different kind of thing. Like, shoes has a message to them. Like there's a story behind each shoe, or there's a reason why each shoe was made. Like for specific purposes, specific colors, all that kind of stuff. I remember back when like my dad bought my first iPod Nano. Me and my sister were always fighting over it as to who gets to what rights. Music would go on it. Of course, there was always her music because she was the golden child and firstborn. She got everything she wanted, but. In terms of just that, as far as that goes, that really formally introduced me into the world of music through iTunes. Because now I could explore like different genres of music, like for instance, classical, rock, hip hop, all that stuff. I'm not just into one type of music. I'm into all types. I mean, there's of course genres of music that I just normally do not listen to. But as far as like hip hop, rock, even heavy metal, I listen to some contemporary, like I listen to up tempo, I could be listening to System of a Down one day, and then the next day I'll listen to some hardcore gangster rap or whatever you want to call it, something like that. Budget chart for year one. I've narrowed it down to school, living, transport, food, and entertainment, without including my taxes and my medical information. However, just for school, I came out to about $420 per year. That's including with like the West Valley College fees, parking fees, medical fees, like student services, all that. My living situation, since I will be living from home most of the year, however, with planning to move out about 3/4 of the way into the year, I plan to move, including paying rent, would be about $5,100, and just for that year though. So that number is expected to change because I won't be living in that house for the whole year. In terms of transportation, this would be my maintenance fees along with my gas fees every year. In terms of food, this is my entire number for budget. This is my entire thing here. That's including eating out. I'd say a big factor into cutting my grand total down, because I'm in debt apparently, would be subtracting the eating out fees, which would cut it a substantial amount. Also, with my entertainment fee, I guess Netflix would have to be slowed down a little bit because this number would be subject to change, giving me less debt to worry about. And in terms of year one, my income would be my job at Chic Shoes, working 21 hours in 1 week, subtracting 20% in taxes, gets me to about almost $20,000 yearly. A big factor in cutting this number down to zero would be, as I said before, subject to change in my entertainment section, and also my food section, erasing or eliminating the in and out, or the eating out. Budget chart going into year 5. I have same categories, so still school, living, transport, food, entertainment. Main differences: school, I would be taking some private lessons, maybe piano lessons once a week or twice a week for a couple years. Also, I had planned to add some classes enrolled in UCLA's School of Art, although prices for those may vary depending on scholarships, grants, and opportunities that could come up in the future. As for living, this would be a yearly cost of where I had planned to live. San Francisco, kind of close to Market Street. Maybe I'd be there for 1 whole year, maybe a little bit more than that. As for transportation, this would be my transportation fees, including gas and including if I wanted to maybe put a lease down for a new car, maybe and try to find some way to get a new car with just that money. As for food, this is just an estimate. I don't know. I should probably be eating more by then. If not, then maybe I'll be on a diet for a year or so. As for entertainment fees, they kind of skewed down, although I plan to cut this number down a little bit more in the upcoming future, just to save money. It's easy as that. As for income, doing DoorDash part-time should get me close to 11,000, paying $20 an hour. That's not something I would be like super enthusiastic about getting, but it's just one of my many options. Also, depending on how well my shoe trader seller business goes, expecting to make with them about 5,000 to 15,000 per year, maybe more, hopefully more. Potential shows that I could be doing at local venues, for instance like the Catalyst, and for instance like Bay Club, all that stuff. Like performing at events, like around San Francisco. I know there's a lot of open coffee shops where they pay between just ticket sales, all that, and promotions between $500 and $1,500 just from potential shows, estimating at about 17,000 per year. In that year, grand total would be about negative 15,000, almost negative like 16,000, just off of all these expenses and taxes as well as medical fees. Time management for my 1 year. First year out of high school, let's say I categorized into school, homework, work, sleep, recreational time, that's like hanging out with friends, basketball, all that stuff, and music development. Everything's out of a 24-hour clock, meaning, let's see here, 34 hours would be spent on school and homework, rounding about to 20.2% of my week. Work would be about 21 hours, working 21 hours in 1 week, rounding about to 12.5% in 1 week. Sleep would be about 56 hours, rounding to about 33.3% of my 1 week. Recreational, just hanging out with friends, playing basketball, 22 hours, it would be 13% of my week. And music and development would be about 35 hours, rounding to about 20.83% of my week.
Asking too many questions, you'll get left right where you came from.